Chill.
Hello, fellow children, and welcome to VFX and Chill, the exciting show where we like to break down visual effects from our favorite movies and TV shows. And we always love to explore a lot here on the show. And today we thought we would explore the final frontier of something that we've maybe mentioned on the show, hinted at, talked about, something that is a very unexplored territory for us. But before we get into it, I'd like to introduce my lovely friends. Seth, over there.
I'm your friends, your lovely friends.
My friends. And then to make that plural work perfectly, there, over here, is
So happy.
my other friend, Michael.
I'm excited about today. I got my hair all put up with a brush to be ready.
That's perfect. I failed to. I did not manage to put anything in my hair, so I've got my standard dad hair right now. But
Z. I was trying to go with Michael's little reference. It's also kind of a weird callback to the my favorite Simpsons joke, the 27, which I've mentioned on the show before. Anyways, Hashi, go ahead.
Yeah, well, welcome. We thought that we work at an amazing company, Maxon, which also works with Pixelogic and basically the Pixelogic people at ZBrush make this insane product. There's so much knowledge floating around Maxon and in the halls of the Pixelogic building over on the Nomon campus. But we figured that we're going to do what we do, which is boldly exploring where we shouldn't be without supervision. But I can't imagine anything going wrong.
We've got a fantastic training team. Screw it. Let's dive in with no experience.
Yeah. So honestly, what we're doing, we are going to have some amazing ZBrush guests over the following year or so. We have wonderful people like Paul Gabry and Ian Robinson and Louis Tucci and a whole host of other really wonderful people that we'd love to get on the show to show you more cool things. But one of the things that they do is they broadcast all the time and have wonderful events and tips and tricks that you can see and learn more of the professional workflow from them. So there are certainly wonderful ways to explore this software, but we thought that we would enter at the absolute red shirt ground level version of this, which is we're going to open up this strange program, dive into it because we've heard tell of what it can do, and we're just going to poke around and see what we can break in order to make it so once you do that yourself, it's not so scary.
ZBrush, the final frontier.
That's right, Hashi.
Thank you. And before we get too far into anything, Seth and Michael, how are you two doing?
Doing great. It's a lovely sunshiny day. It's cold. I'm holding my hands by my laptop's GPU to keep warm.
Excellent. Nothing like a good overloaded GPU to keep you warm during these winter months. So anyway, Seth, we were talking about the amazing software called ZBrush.
ZBrush, the final frontier.
ZBrush is used. ZBrush is used a lot of industries. Most feature film creatures are made in ZBrush. Like pretty much any major motion pictures digital creature is done in ZBrush. Most AAA video games, all their characters are done in ZBrush. But it's also used in other industries as well. Jewelers use it to sculpt jewelry. Toy makers use it, like Funko Pops. They use it. Like a lot of toy makers use it, and dentists even. So it's used in a bunch of
9 out of 10 dentists, in fact.
It's used in a bunch of industries besides the VFX one, but we're a fairly VFX focused. So we're going to be making some characters today, I assume? Question mark?
Yes, we figured that just stay mildly on theme. One of the things that ZBrush is known for is creating characters, and one of the things that Star Trek is known for is having these lovely variety of life forms that all look suspiciously human, also, but with some extra
with weird foreheads. They've all got
weird foreheads. No, not a single normal forehead in the bunch. So we figured that one of the things that we might be able to accomplish here today is we can take this amazing, award-winning, incredible software that can do wondrous things on the cinematic level and kind of bring them down more to an out-of-date TV show aesthetic is I think where we're going to end up here today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We also have had some comments up at the top of the show. I don't remember who was mentioning them. David Films.
Yes, David Films
was pointing out an effect that appeared in the latest episode of Loki, maybe, or I don't remember how Loki comes out, but
yeah, it's the latest episode, I believe. Excellent.
So we might look into that a little bit later if our exploration of this ZBrush planet has us heading for the hills after that.
ZBrush, the final frontier.
And speaking of the chat, Nick Smith is in the chat, is excited that Sir Pat Stew last week, Shatner this week, and can't wait for Chris Pine week.
We love Chris Pine. I wish he were mine. He's always on my mind, Chris Pine.
Every week is Chris Pine week on VFX and Chill. Never forget.
Absolutely. Well, Seth, Michael, yes. I think that we've done enough reconnaissance on this mission. We know of the planet ZBrush. We know that it's a treacherous place. That there are all sorts of subdivisions and slime bridges about. What do you say we open up this strange and foreign program?
ZBrush, the final frontier.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. What do we do first?
Well, a little just explanation of our screens right now. We're in our split screen interface right now, and we've both opened up ZBrush.
ZBrush.
And
we're the first to make
one of the things that nearly any software does when I first open it is overwhelm me with how many little symbols and gizmos and buttons there are that I don't know what do. And ZBrush can be especially intimidating in this way. Just sort of like Cinema 4D, when you have a product that has to do so many things, you've got to fit them all somewhere. And so there are a lot of things on the screen right here. And so I was intimidated by this at first. I didn't know what was going on. So one of the most helpful tips that I heard is that right at the beginning, on the interface, you can hide the light box thing here. And this light box is basically...
Is that a box full of lights, Hashi?
It's actually not a box full of lights. It's a box full of all sorts of treasures, like project templates right here, or perhaps some of your quick save files, in case ZBrush crashes, and it shows you, hey, don't worry that we crashed. We have your work right here. And so, for example, one of the things that I might do if I open it up and the light box is open is I might say, I want to sculpt on top of this sphere right here. And so I'll double click on that and it loads this new project for me, which is exciting. So now I have a project open with a little object that I can paint on already, which is pretty neat.
Ooh, I already see indications that you've got symmetry going on because I see a little dot going the other way of that dot. So I bet if you do something, it'll happen on the other side too.
Isn't that fun? And in fact, I think that when we get started, we're going to probably use symmetry to our advantage because we don't know what we're doing. But if our work can be doubled on two sides, then we'll do twice as much not knowing what we're doing as anything. I did learn that the symmetry options are available here in the transform menu right here.
Transform.
Symmetry is activated for me, specifically X symmetry, and I could turn that off. And you see if I turn that off, that other little ghost brush is gone. But I do actually want it on. I think that that'll be very helpful for me, not really knowing what I'm doing exactly. So one of the things you'll notice is that we do lots of stuff wrong throughout this episode, but the whole point is to show that you don't have to be too intimidated by doing the wrong thing. Wait, Seth, how did you finish? I wasn't really watching, and you finished a beautiful sculpture.
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out.
That means I don't know what I did. I clicked something, and this man was here.
Well, does he know how to use ZBrush?
Apparently, I'm very good at ZBrush.
Fantastic. let's see. I'm just trying to make sure that I can see our.
I don't know how.
See full video feed. There we go. Now I can see our actual show feed. Perfect. So, Seth,
You
I
want to know
think that it
how
would be fun to try
I
to
do what I
sculpt
do?
some aliens figuring out stuff along the way. What do you say?
Absolutely. Let's dive in.
ZBrush.
I'm just. Whoa! Look what I'm doing here.
You're
I'm
painting right on that poor gentleman's face.
I am, and
Not only painting, you're effectively extruding, right?
I am. How do I zoom? Do you think maybe these tools right here would be?
There we go. So there are some navigation tools over here on the side, right up here. And also, let me see if I can do something just so people can actually see something that's going on. Let's go like this. Okay, I'll make a little, this little face here. So the way you navigate in here seems to be the right mouse button allows you to orbit around and do different things like that. And if you hold down Control and your right mouse button, you can dolly in and out. And if you, I believe, hold down Shift and it's is it Alt? There we go. And Alt and your right mouse button, you can move stuff around. So I can tell that this is going to be my biggest hurdle is just
me too.
Learning to navigate properly in here.
Now, fun fact, I believe you can press and hold spacebar and get access to any of these as well. Also, look at this. If I click the dude up here and move him around, it will move my perspective around.
Ooh,
thanks, dude.
And it looks like it's snapping to those nice, like your standard, like top left, top right.
Absolutely.
Increments. That's very nice. Okay, so we're learning that just like any other 3D software, this has, standard 3D navigation. But the thing that ZBrush is known for, of course, is sculpting crazy cool things like that little Superman bust that you've got going there.
Which I sculpted.
Which you sculpted just before the show. It was very impressive.
Yeah.
I know you were worried about it, but I think it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Ooh.
Excellent. So you're painting right onto that thing. And the reason we're able to paint onto these things is because we are in edit mode and we have an object pasted in here. In my case, I loaded that Dynamesh base as something. Kevin Rupp in the chat is asking if we're using our drawing tablets. I'm actually not, which is silly. I do have my tablet hooked up, but I'm not.
Ooh, I wonder.
It's not hooked up for me to broadcast through.
I wonder if I could.
But yeah, I'm giving out information that is literally just what we've discovered by poking around. So
yeah,
this will come in no reasonable order, but I have learned at least that you can create a new document by going to Document, New Document, or you can open up one of the templates from Lightbox, like this sphere, for example. And then right here, also on the left side of screen, we have the little brush selector. And there are all sorts of brushes. And I've seen some amazing work by all of the artists that have come through to do Max on live streams and that have done Pixelogic live streams. Lots of really cool things. Kind of anything that you could imagine doing with clay, obviously, you can do digitally. And one of the advantages about ZBrush is that they've sort of been in this, polygon sculpting game for a long time and have learned to integrate a lot of really cool things like the Dynamesh, which is something right over here that allows you to stretch something out without losing. Let me see. I've got to find a brush that can do that thing.
Do we freeze? Are we still frozen?
Are we frozen?
Do we need to do a motion test?
Freezy freeze. We need a motion test.
All right, guys. Time for a motion test. Move around, everybody. Are we still frozen? also
The chat is
it
better
looks like it's
now.
moving to me.
All right, we're good. Awesome. All right, sorry about that.
Cool.
Yes, the chat was interested in whether we were using mousing or just using tablets. So yeah, I would say
I'm trying to connect it to my iPad using as an extended display. But I would,
Hashi, can I just say, just watching you sculpt on that, it's already a much smoother experience than the way we were sculpting last week.
that's very true.
Yeah.
Devil horns on a sphere. I feel like that's everyone's first ZBrush sculpt.
It really kind of is. If you were here last week, you may have seen, I'm going to load it up. I should have had it loaded up to begin with, that I dove into trying to ZBrush in Cinema, which is not recommended. I ended up in a reasonable place, which was, let me see if I have it. Let's move
Actually,
to
did you show everybody that holding down S and dragging can change your draw size?
Oh, you know what? I didn't show everyone that, Seth.
Hey, everyone, if you hold down S and click and drag, you
Seth.
can change your draw size. And also, while Hashi's looking something up, why don't I also show you? If you hold down Control, you get this thing called a mask pin. What is a mask pin? I'm actually asking.
What is a mask pin?
I don't know what it is.
What is a
I'd
mask
like you to
pin?
tell me.
However, I do know what this is.
I know what it does. So, Michael, tell us what it is, and don't mention the coolest thing you possibly can, because it'll spoil my.
I was just saying it's what you use when you're going to go play football. You put the black there and the black there, and you go.
Exactly. So just like normal football players do, we're going to click Slime Bridge after we draw some masks, and I'm going to say tension 24. I'm just going to leave everything else the way it is, and I'm just going to click Slime Bridge. Can I be applied
Slime
to a mesh
bridge.
with
I don't know.
multiple
My
subdivision
parents have always
levels?
warned me to stay away from that old slime bridge.
All right, how do I turn off subdivision levels? Is this SDIV? Yeah, let's say that. Let's move it down to 1. Oh, here we go. Now let's go back to Slime Bridge. Back to Slime Bridge.
Yeah, one thing that I don't quite understand is that I believe that your subdivision slider, like it looks like when I see that happen, I'm like, oh no, you've lost all of your polys or something like that. But that's not true. In ZBrush, the information is actually stored, and this is actually more of a way to assist. You can like jump down to low polygon or low subdivision, so you can like punch holes in your thing and do like all the stretching and craziness you need to at a low resolution. And anything that you've done at a higher subdivision level will preserve itself as you dial back, which is really cool.
You know what's frustrating is I can't do the effect I was going to show.
Can't slime bridge it up?
I can't slime bridge it, so slime Bridget Jones diary.
Why don't you start a new document
Why don't
and
I?
try
Dropbox.
doing some slime bridging?
I'll do just like a
Then-
Dinosphere. There we go.
In the meantime, I'll show. This is what I ended up with. I sculpted this out of a. What did I do? I put a volume mesher over the the standard figure that loads up in. You can actually watch this horrible process, this cringy process on our last VFX and Chill. But what I love is that it led me to this bizarre point, which was I decided that once this rabbit was done, that I would encase him in a little cage like that. And if you haven't seen our process for making a very nice transform cage, it basically is just using the volume builder to build a slightly thicker cage around your geometry, simplifying that, and maybe using the remesher tool, which happens to come out of ZBrush, which is pretty cool, to get this nice little low poly cage that can be simulated as a bit of cloth. Not only that, but I've actually done some weight painting on this thing to, let me see. I need to, I think, turn off my, a little bit of painting on here. So anything that I wanted to stay solid is painted with a high value, and anything that I wanted to be a little bit more loose is still showing as red. And then I attached this cube with a few little stringy connectors to this cage. And let's see, let me hide it again. And I'll show you this bizarre thing. So, whoops.
You're still in polygon mode, by the way.
Thank you. So as soon as I hit play, this simulation begins. And you can see that he's a little bit
Looks a little floppy. What happens if you move the oh.
He's actually floppy and connected to this to this string. And so with very little effort, I've figured out how to make this very interactive, bouncy, goofy cartoon rabbit that moves remarkably like Roger Rabbit. And it really speaks to the fact that Richard Williams just absolutely understood the physics of what this cartoon rabbit would do, which is wild to me. Let me add more frames so I can goof around for longer. But check it out. We've got this lovely dynamic thing. And in fact, all I'd have to do is animate this. And look, I've got a Roger Rabbit walk, basically, which is insane to me. So this was in pursuit of us making a simple claymation-looking thing last week. Now, you can definitely end up in a pretty ugly spot. It's kind of horrifying. But all you got to do is reset, and it's all good to go again as a tune, you know? And also, as I let Jamie play with this after the show last time, I realized you could go into the balloon settings for cloth. In fact, I think I dragged one thing you can do in cinema was really nice. If you go over to the cloth settings and you think, oh, I might want to modify the overpressure over time, you can just drag it onto the interface. Did you know that? I didn't know half of this stuff until this year.
Oh yeah. You can drag controls for anything in cinema into the interface. It's very handy.
And in fact, I think that when you do that, you can even tell it to stick there no matter if the object is selected or not.
You can right click on the thing in the viewport, I believe. The HUD thing itself. I think if you right click on it, it gives you those options. But I don't remember. I haven't properly rigged in cinema in a while.
It's true. But anyway, I did love that since this is a little cloth dude, I can turn up the overpressure and inflate him. now I've got.
And we've got our new mascot.
Roger Rabbit.
Hashi, save it right now. Don't increment and save. I want to keep that for future videos.
Okay, it is saved. It is saved.
Did you increment and save or just regular save?
Incremented and saved.
This is better than anything we ever made.
So look at this.
That's not so much bouncing as it is just like self-mutilation.
It kind of is. Someone was recognizing that I was just being very, very mean to Roger. Here, I'll dial it back down to an overpressure of 1. And okay, he's okay. It's somewhere between Roger Rabbit and the Trix Rabbit. But
this is like Robert Rabbit. This is like a weird
Robert Rabbit. But either way,
Bob Rabbit.
Imagine like how much utility you could get out of using soft body cartoonish dynamics and animating a bunch of background characters with this thing.
But imagine
and they'd look like they've got this.
Imagine if you didn't build it in Cinema 4D, but instead you built it in
ZBrush, the final frontier.
Jason Murphy says that you're making Audrey over there, Seth, and I can't make his thing pop up on the screen for some reason. But
I'm making Audrey.
Audrey 2, baby.
What is Audrey?
Somewhere between Pac-Man and Audrey 2.
I don't know what Audrey 2 is.
Little Shop of Horrors Piranha Plant.
Oh, duh. Freaking, okay. Now, it's as good a time as any to now see if I can get the slime test to work again. So I just got a standard sphere out of the little light box up there.
Standard Audrey 2 sphere.
Audrey 2 sphere. Well, I made an Audrey 2 sphere by just being like Alt and clicking and just putting a friggin' dent in the thing so it had a mouth. And then holding Shift and smoothing it. Now, if I hold, I think Control, and now it becomes a mask pin, I'm actually going to make it a smaller size now. I'm going to hold Control and draw the mask pen on the edge of the mouth here. And then down here as well.
Okay, so you're putting lipstick on this, on this thing.
I am. And now I'm going to go over here to what is inevitably going to become a new drop on our show, the Slime Bridge. And I'm going to click.
Slime Bridge was one of my favorite 90s bands.
I made slime bridges. Look at that.
What?
So cool. So goopy.
So are you
gross.
telling me anytime I've seen that kind of artwork in these newfangled
Slime Bridge.
movies, they just clicked on Slime Bridge?
Slime Bridge.
Stranger Things, they just clicked on Slime Bridge.
Slime Bridge. Yep, man. That's it, man.
That's it. They computed it, all the work, everyone.
Slime Bridged it.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's
what
very
I was trying to do.
Matrix 1. How
That is definitely Matrix 1.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, so you know that model that I built all on my own right at the top of the show, I was trying to do that to his mouth, but he had more subdivision levels on him, something I did not know how to turn off, so I got rid of him. I destroyed him. Anyway.
You're wise. That is a very cool tip, and that's an insanely organic-looking, ridiculous thing that you could do. It looks like the ground opening up or something like that. You could throw that over to cinema as a cloth object and then rip it apart, and it would look really cool and stringy.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay.
Oh, another fun thing. Thick skin. Just turn up the thickness. Turn down the thickness. Turn up the thickness. Spider-Man, turn on the thickness.
You can make it more thick-skinned.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice. There's just buttons over here you can press.
Oh yeah, I kind of like this. The whole way that this right side of the screen works is these are all little submenus that are available to you, but you can open them up like that and make them visible, and then minimize them if you're not using them at the time, and keep this kind of tidy, which is wild. So yeah, another way to simplify your interface as you go. So I've been doing a whole lot of silly talking and not a whole lot of sculpting. So I think that I should start trying to do some sculpting. I'm going to use the clay buildup brush I've heard so much about. The clay buildup brush does this. Just puts clay on top of the thing and builds it out. And you'll see that as I've built it out, you can see the geometry is kind of getting bizarrely distorted and overstretched. But I believe that if I click over here and go to the geometry tab, and I click on, oops, I don't remember if I've just turned it on or turned it off. Oh, there we go. I click on Dynamesh. I think that I've now added some kinds of smoothing to it. Fun, silly. Anyway, I want to use this clay buildup brush, but I didn't like that it was painting as this big square like this. I actually wanted to paint with a different kind of shape, so I'm going to use this kind of default alpha 1 kind of thing, just to make it very, very smooth and clean. Cool. All right. What are you going to try to build, Seth?
I don't know, actually. I'm intrigued by this little preview window. If I click rotate little button, it starts to, and I do like this, it starts rotating in the little preview window.
What? That's delightful.
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
So I'm going to try to start making sort of a chin here for my little alien dude.
Oh, alien dude. That's right. We should make aliens.
Yeah, I'm going to make...
One thing I'm having a little trouble with is I can't... In the light box, I can't navigate. I know there's more projects over here to the right, and I can't navigate to them.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a weird...
I have to go like this, which covers up your whole screen.
That's fine. Do it. Just do it.
I'm going to use mail.zber.
Mail.zber. Okay. I am going to go ahead and save...
Whoa, what the?
Hashi show.
I broke.
Ooh, nice. And that's a video card
Yeah.
showing your side.
back. I just needed to play a drop. And
Look at that.
Be fine.
So a teeny bit of teaching as far as that I've learned is that you can select a brush here. You can select how the brush is applied, just sort of like in Photoshop. Like it can be sprayed at some random sizes. It could be freehand, or it can be dragged. The pattern can be dragged onto the shape. I'm using this just freehand style. And then the application of the whatever kind of extrusion effect you have can also be shaped within a brush alpha, which is kind of cool. So,
Hey, Nick, I'll answer your question, Nick. Click transform and then activate symmetry right here. That's what you do.
ooh, thank you for answering that question, Seth. And then obviously you can see that as I'm clicking and painting around, it's adding and building up more onto this like that. But if I hold down Alt and click the same thing, it will do the opposite of what the tool does in the opposite direction. So I can use that to kind of start to form a little bit of an alien skull or something like that, which could be kind of fun. I'm using what you mentioned, Seth, that if you hold down S, you can create a nice little, or you can adjust your brush shape or size here, I mean. And if you have a tablet, I believe that you can link all of these types of things up to,
Your pressure and your angle and such things, indeed you can.
Exactly.
I would like to say something real quick. Having stood next to someone demoing ZBrush for hours on end, I will say keyboard shortcuts are a huge deal in ZBrush once you start getting really into it. Like there's keyboard shortcuts for everything in here, and you can customize it extensively to do what you want. So you can get some pretty intense work going, and it's just like click, 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 blah, 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 like that. It's pretty cool watching it happen for an experienced ZBrush modeler.
It's incredible. Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to watch someone model in ZBrush live, do check out any of the amazing saved videos on Pixelogic's channel or on from any of our Maxon showcase videos and the like. So many much more talented people than us using this program. Right now, I'm trying to build up something just unusual on the side, some little like alien sideburns. And one thing that I noticed up here is I was like, there's got to be a smooth brush, and there was. And as soon as I clicked on it, it said, hey, this will be selected as a smoothing brush, and you can press the Shift key and then use it. So I can have whatever brush that I'm using right here, but hold down Shift, and I get my smoothing brush. And then I can go right back to building on top and then smoothing it down with that, which is cool. This is kind of fun. All right.
People saying you found the cake brush and the Sir Mix-a-Lot brush. And yeah, the chat is very active, but I can't show their comments for some reason. They are no longer popping up. Yeah, I don't know why.
I'll see if I can fix it. I don't really know what they mean by the Sir Mix-a-Lot.
He enjoys cake, I believe.
What? Do you mean like... Okay, this reveal works really nicely. Ready? And dun 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 dun.
Oh, that's exactly what they meant. Yes.
Okay, got it.
Excellent. If that isn't the first thing that you do in ZBrush, then your learning process will be slower.
Devil horns on a sphere first, then a big butt on just anything. Obviously, second. I mean, clearly, because this is what you all did your first goes at it.
Let me see what I can do about that issue, Michael.
All right. I don't know if I'm loving.
Oh, I know.
Getting
why.
over here.
No, I don't. Oh, I do.
Okay, these navigation tools are going to be. Eventually, I'm gonna get a hang of them somehow. What do I want? I want I want some kind of a push pull nudge brush, and I don't remember what they call that in here. I would normally call this the grab tool in the sculpting tools in Cinema, and in here I'm going to guess they're called the. I swear they exist. Not displace, but probably.
Hey, I see a chat overlay from Box of Chocolate saying, I like big brushes and I cannot lie.
Same. Let's play with some of these brushes over here. Speaking of
All right. I'm hoping that the move tool does what I want, which is I'll turn the size up a little bit and then I'll move this into a bigger, cool shape for the skull. There we go.
I found the Lost in Space brush, the Lost in Space starring Matt LeBlanc brush.
Starring Matt LeBlanc.
This, I believe, is what Gary Oldman's character looks like at the end.
Oh my gosh. I don't remember that, despite it being one of the
seminal films
first DVDs out there.
Oh, I remember Matt LeBlanc has an amazing... Matt LeBlanc in Lost in Space is playing a character... Is like playing... It's like a role Joey Tribbiani would have gotten on Friends.
It's very meta.
Yeah. It's absolutely incredible. Okay, I can tell you right now, this brush just got me so friggin' far so quickly.
What brush is that?
This is the Groom Lengthen brush.
The Groom Lengthen brush.
Is that how a man prepares for his... Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your Star Wars?
Okay. I should just leave it on the drops menu. So let's see. I'm making these like Stonehenge looking dudes. Not Stonehenge. What is this guy?
Easter Island?
Yeah, Easter Island.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
While you're doing that,
doing over here.
I like that. Now, Hashi, are you thinking just trying stuff that looks cool, or are you thinking about the underlying physiology and evolutionary processes that made this creature have the shapes that it has?
I mean, obviously both. I mean, for example, this dude, needed to store lots of stuff in his mouth as he chewed over a long period of time. It also needs to be something that could be worn as a human prosthetic.
As my brother said when he was very young, cheekmunks have chip pockets.
That is incredible. Okay, I don't know. Oh, what am I doing now?
There's a fun slide brush to mess with too.
Oh, I don't like that. Don't like whatever I did there.
Whoa! Ho, ho.
What have you done, Seth?
I groom twisted.
Groom twisted?
Whoa!
Oh my gosh!
I bet you want to turn the strength of that down.
Do I? This is like the
Probably.
singularity brush. Ma.
Yeah, I think in real life you would want that to be significantly less strong, so you could just like softly and gently sculpt something into place.
Oh my gosh. Hashi, I just discovered something. Did
What's
you already
that?
say this? If you don't click anywhere but the model and drag.
Rotates.
Did you know this?
Yes.
I didn't. Did you teach it already?
I did not teach it though.
That's a huge thing.
It's going to
I
withhold.
feel like there's got to be some kind of okay, holding Alt and clicking anywhere pans the camera. Clicking and dragging around rotates it. This is making things a lot easier.
So how do you zoom in? Control and drag?
No, that seems to do this.
Alt left or hang on, try Alt right click and drag.
Alt right click. No, I don't want to have to do right click because on my trackpad,
Oh yeah.
that's just two fingers, and I end up
Middle
just pushing
mouse
my
button?
trackpad around the desk.
Right. Well, there's gotta be a way to zoom in. Oh, can you just pinch to zoom?
Nope. What if I hold down Alt and pinch? No. Maybe.
Wait, what are you trying to do?
Zoom.
Zoom.
On a mouse.
It's your right mouse
Nope,
and then
I don't want to do right
control.
mouse. I want to do
Okay,
the
you
same
can't do
thing I'm
right
doing
mouse.
with my clicks. Like,
So,
Well, I'm sure you could set up a keyboard shortcut.
I'm sure
Hey,
there's
for those of you who are just joining us, hello, Zach Hyde. The gang is trying ZBrush for the first time today, demonstrating that it is okay to just jump right into something. You are not going to break ZBrush. In fact, you might have some fun.
Yes, we are going about this a very ridiculous way because we are here at Maxon where we have countless resources of people who know how to use this program well, but instead we are stubbornly just jumping in and trying to see what we can figure out ourselves, which is always, you know what, I feel like it's kind of recommended by me. You should try it here and there, just see what see what you can figure out on your own first, and then go learn all the wrong ways you've been doing stuff all your life. All right. So I'm making, I don't entirely know what, some kind of skull shape, and eventually I want to have some kind of actual mouth going on here. So where was this move tool maybe will be helpful to give it more of a jaw here.
Tab gets rid of some UI stuff.
Oh, that's handy.
I'm just gonna pressing keys. What does Q do? Nothing. What does W do? Puts a what?
There are, I think, knowing the keyboard shortcuts is clearly can give you a very big advantage in this program. But I'm just going with okay. Alt helps me drag them. I keep on forgetting that one. Okay, move tool. Nope, I need a larger brush size, which is S.
Clicking F goes so that gives you the full view.
It like fits it to.
Yeah. Whoa! What did I do? Clicking C. What did this do? Why is he dark now?
Oh, you messed with the materials. You can press the same button again, V maybe?
V?
Or...
Whoa.
So see those two swatches on the side there?
Yeah.
That's what you're affecting right there. So if you want, you can just click it to a different... there you go.
I see. Speaking of, let's give this guy some texture. I think I need to give it a UV map first, because if I go and I click texture map, new texture, and I click the image, and I say, let's make you look like this wood chips. Texture mapping requires UV mapping. Apply UV map or use poly painting without UV mapping. So I'll do UV map. I'm going to create a projection. I'll do spherical. Assigned or modified only while the lowest subdivision level is active.
Nick Smith is asking, is ZBrush for iPad a thing? Indeed, it is soon. They announced at the ZBrush Summit mere weeks ago that is coming next year.
Basically,
in the meantime,
that is one of the reasons I'm very excited to get into this. Like, if there's an iPad version of it and I haven't been learning how to use it here, what am I even doing?
Yeah, now if in the meantime there's Forger, which is our Maxon sculpting app for iPad, but it's very, very like friendly, and it's got some Cinema 4D modeling stuff tucked into it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, they're planning to bring the full-on ZBrush to iPad sometime next year, I believe.
That dog is pissed.
That dog is brand new and very huge. It's a lab and Great Dane mix.
It's your dog. Oh, I thought it was Hashi's huge dog.
Oh no, it's ours.
No, my huge dog is being a good girl right now.
Congrats on the new dog, Michael.
Excellent. Congrats.
He's a sweetheart.
What's his name?
Max.
Max.
Which is short for Maxitrillion because he's way cooler than Maximilian. Brian Smith. Brian Smith is asking, can the axis lines be turned off in ZBrush? That blue line on Seth's character is very distracting at times. I'm very sure it can.
There's a blue line on my... I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Now, I do know one of the cool things that these brushes can do is that there are patterns and stuff like that. And so I'm kind of curious without any training, what this pattern brush does.
Mr. ERJ is saying, what's it like using ZBrush for the first time? Well, yeah, you're seeing it. Fun and fun.
Actually, I'm having a blast.
Yeah, it's look what we're doing. Like, look what Hashi just discovered. He could paint on textures.
What?
Yeah.
Where was that?
You can load a texture into a brush.
Right here.
Pattern brush?
The grayscale.
There's a pattern brush, and you
the
can
grayscale values will push and pull pixel the points.
And not only that, but I mean, you can basically design your own within ZBrush, or I think convert an image of yours into it, which is pretty cool. I'm going to give it this big...
Does it have to be a grayscale image?
Overlaid pattern. I imagine it at least is getting sort of converted to Luma at some point. See if I can... Oops, I don't want to smooth stuff out that much now. So I'm going to select my smooth brush, and I'm going to see if I can turn down its overall intensity. Oh, here we go. Z intensity. I'll turn the Z intensity down and the RGB intensity down. And then shift. There we go. Now I can just lightly smooth out some of this texture, but I'll keep some of the big texture. This is wild. Basically, some version of the thing. Oh my goodness, this navigation stuff. I'm going to have to figure out if, I don't know if it's worth changing stuff or if I need to truly learn. I mean, I do want to, I always do like learning the native, like, way to control anything within a program. That way, if you go to a new computer or you're borrowing a machine or something like that, you're not all out of whack. Nick was asking if the brush is actually affecting the geometry or just the normal or displacement. ZBrush right now, this is all geometry.
That's what it looks like.
So everything that's happening is true geometric displacement.
Yes, there's no materials. This is all actual pixels. ZBrush can do hundreds of millions of not pixels of polygons.
And I have this Dynamesh thing enabled, which how do you switch to showing the polygons? There must be some very simple way to show that. Preview, texture map.
Justin Leduc says, you guys could have told us that you were seasoned ZBrush artists. I would have believed you had I been blind and deaf, of course.
Oh man, yeah, like in podcast form.
No, I mean, to be fair though, these are some like, for not knowing anything, y'all are getting some pretty fun stuff.
Yes,
already.
I agree. Take that.
Let's see. I want to create. Let's see, where are the little? Uh-oh. What have I done? Go back.
Try something. So I'm gonna make
undo. Wait, go back to my little thing. Can't I?
CJ Adams says, get a 3D Connection 3D mouse and give up on the stupid key foo so that you only need those keys for selections, masking, etc., rather than navigation. And I will tell you, CJ Adams, I have a 3D Connection space mouse, and it makes my 3D work. It's so much smoother when navigating around. I use it for two main things: for modeling, sculpting, etc., because it's just way easier to get around the model, and two, for finding my camera positions when I'm laying out my camera animations. And I love it. It's like the difference between drawing with a mouse and drawing with a tablet. It's like so much better. So yeah, anyone out there in 3D land, I like having a 3D mouse. It's handy. Now, John J.R. Robick is asking, does ZBrush prevent you from creating bad intersecting geometry? I believe it lets you do whatever you want to do. We can try to find out. Seth, can you push geometry through geometry? I think you just did with the twirl brush a minute ago.
Yes, I definitely did.
But I think there is a feature that lets you not do that. Like I believe there's a way to turn it on to make it not. But again, none of the three of us know ZBrush. We're just demonstrating how you can play around with it and just kind of learn as you go. You don't have to wait until you sit down for a big long tutorial session. You can just start making stuff. I mean, look at it. They're making stuff.
Oops, I don't know what I've done. I was trying to. I'm going to start over. New document. not saving changes, but I think my polysphere is saved here. Yes. So look at that. My model is basically like a little brush. I can load it right back in. That's fun. That's silly and really cool. Okay. Let's see. Let us know if we're getting any other questions, Michael, about stuff. Okay. So
I am.
So the preventing from creating bad geometry, I'm unsure about that. I think. Are you investigating over there, Seth?
Into what?
If we can create, if you can create bad geometry.
Oh no, we did it earlier with the twirl brush.
Oh yeah. Bad.
All right, so it's
geometry.
possible.
It's always possible for you and I to create bad geometry. I was gonna try it. Let me see if this works. Boop 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 boop. Is that my iPad? And I'm drawing. Yes, it is. Okay. I'm gonna create a texture that I'm gonna bring in and use for that texture brush thing. What should it be?
Ooh, clever.
What should my texture be?
Your texture should be. How about?
And is it like grayscale is nothing, black and white? Like, is it normal? Like,
I think that. Yeah, I think that.
Okay.
I think it's an impression if it's black, neutral if gray, and coming out if it's white. Maybe if it works like a standard displacement. You could always just click Alt if it's wrong. I'm going to try the chisel tool over here. Oh, weird. The chisel tool is aggressive. But kind of cool. Let's try. How does it connect? Does it work? Oh, weird. That was a bit of a weird tool. I'm unsure what I've done here with this chisel tool.
I'm going to do like a scribbly mark.
Oh, how weird. It drags it behind. That's wild. It's kind of like virtual clay. Has anyone ever said that about this program?
Seth rules. Let's try that. Let's do it a little better though.
Ooh, you could always, do something like Seth rules, and then you go and kind of stamp that across everything subtly, but it's sort of, overlapping, so you can't quite tell, but...
Think it needs to be a JPEG or PNG?
We know.
What would you say?
I would go with a PNG, but...
Ping!
I don't truly know.
To my computer.
Again, never used any of this stuff before. But... where there's a will, there's a way. We'll figure it out.
Where there's a will, there's a way, and this is a song. Let's see.
And imagine the montage version of this episode.
Imagine the more efficiently viewable version of this episode. Let's see now. If I go back in here and I'm going to click. Oh, by the way, fun fact. I learned when this show started, because I was very confused. There are in preferences, if you go to screensaver, I'm going to turn that back on. Let's give it a second now. And I'm going to go to another window. In just a second, you should start to see
screensaver.
You should start to see some sexy ZBrush art.
We're all holding still.
I also see Brian Smith up there in the screen. Michael, is he there for a reason? Hi, Brian.
Yes, he's there, so people know that it's back in the Red Giant stream too. Because we were back on Maxon only for a second.
Thank you. Maybe I can change the screensaver. Time. Let's move it down to the 11 seconds. Here we go. The countdown to the screensaver. And Now. Maybe not. Well, it'll come back on at some point.
Maybe the stream is keeping it active.
Maybe it is. I mean, it wasn't really earlier.
Oh wait, no, it came up earlier when you were.
Oh yeah.
Right. That was it, right?
When?
Like right when Michael joined, when we were in the pre-show.
Yeah. And it was just like sexy ZBrush art showed up. And interesting that an app has its own screensaver to cover the whole thing. I wonder if that's for privacy or what. So ZBrush, let's alpha imports, downloads. Let's do untitled artwork. Seth rules. Okay. Now let's see what this looks like. I'm going to put it on his chest. Yeah.
Wise.
Whoa. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. How did that zoom? All right. And whoa. Is that doing it? No, it's not. Wait, I just did brush alpha. Obviously, that wasn't what I was supposed to do. So how do
is it not an alpha channel on that thing?
It's like I don't know.
Or is it a Luma?
Oh,
It's
there's
again.
an alpha channel on it. Yeah, no.
Fun to do this without the advice of the people who are good at it.
Yes.
But that's the point. It's to show you that without guidance, you can get yourself into some amazing sticky situations.
Absolutely. So wait, what?
In fact, I do feel like I should pull up one of the things that we've been working on this week in the background, made by a real ZBrush artist.
This is still drawing this pattern.
Okay, so I think we're gonna have to figure out how to make a brush, right?
Oh.
So
create. Do we want to create a nano mesh brush or a multi-alpha brush?
That's a good question. I don't know. I do know that it's been covered by some talented artists. Like Anna Carolina does some really cool versions of this, but I do not know. Oops. Oh, I don't know what that mask I just created was. I'm deciding, growing bored of this design now. Let's see, so I want something like an inflation. Isn't there an inflate? Okay. Inflation. Does that inflate all of that? Oh, look at that. Inflation tool like amplifies these little ridges and things like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if I...
That was inflation? So many brushes.
Zach Hyde in the chat says the left guy's view looks laggy.
Yeah, can't do anything about that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's the way of the world, I'm afraid.
Oh, wow. Yeah, inflation. It works masterfully. Boop.
There we go. Maybe now I can get some more of the Star Trek-iness, because I was going to say the forehead was too quickly, as opposed to just working with your broad shape first. And so live and learn, I guess. But
It happened.
yes, there you go.
I did it, guys. I made these. I didn't. turn that off now. That's in preferences, screensaver.
Some chat folks were worried that the stream had gone down again. Both Justin Leduc and Brian Smith said it, but no, it's going good. Things are still happening.
That was the thing that you guys know about on our computers, our work computers.
Just leave it. Let it be on.
We'll see.
Okay. I need a much more exciting back of this guy's head.
Groom hairball.
Okay, let's go to this view. Let's scooch in base of the skull. Let's do some sort of a crest kind of thing. Not crest, but I don't know terms for things.
What's so there's brush size, but then there's brush intensity, right?
Yes, those two sliders right there. And I'm sure that maybe didn't we figure out a shortcut?
Is the thing I was talking
made
about.
That visible lower than that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've deflated this too much. It no longer is a Star Trek alien because a human head couldn't fit inside.
Yours is looking
of it.
so cool, dude.
I just got to decide what direction I want to go with him. I need to decide who he is, what he wants.
Jason Murphy says, even though you've never used the app, it's clear you're both talented artists. Just look at these amazing displays of skill. Which I'm not sure if it's sarcasm or not, but
I don't know. I think he's right.
I mean, prior to this, the only thing that I had really sculpted was just Seth Worley's head over and over again.
I forgot about that. And how over and over again, and whenever your family would be dying for time with you.
Please. Whoop. The current active undo history is not the latest one.
Some rando in the chat named Ian Robinson Sculpts says, "Hey guys, get it."
No.
Don't watch.
He's not allowed here.
Look away. We weren't doing anything. We weren't doing anything at all. Anyway, guys, so this week,
CC ball action.
Thanks for watching our whole episode about CC ball action, in which we didn't open ZBrush whatsoever. No, we've still got 45 minutes. Fine, Ian.
Hi, Ian.
We're grooming. We're going to replace you now. Sorry, we've achieved.
Clearly,
for those who haven't seen Ian sculpt, it's a treasure and a joy. The stuff that he can produce in 5 minutes is amazing.
You may not think it can get better than this, guys, but just go watch Ian and you'll discover it can.
It was wild. In fact,
Frigby Chillweather, who does not have an avatar, is asking what happened to brushes A to Y. Interestingly, ZBrush came out when 3D was barely a thing, and it was just interesting.
But pretend he said Frigby.
But it was pointing out that you were sculpting in not just the X and the Y dimension, but also the Z dimension. So you should be asking what happened to dimensions A through
Z dimension.
ZBrush, the final frontier.
Always so quiet after I do that.
I know, because we're all just like waiting for the episode of Star Trek to begin. Speaking of Ian's work in ZBrush,
of more talented people, IR Sculpts down there in the chat had heard that Seth and I were fans of Velociraptors, and so we've decided that we are going to upgrade our Velociraptor from But With Raptors to this amazing sculpt by Ian Robinson, which has a lot more actual built-in detail. And look at this. It's got all of this stuff, proper UVs, proper normals, and everything like that. You can look at this ridiculous detail. And this is just the detail of the model he exported. So we're going to have some more. We'll have to get into raptors again once we do a little bit more work with this. This is going to be a whole other feature by itself kind of thing. So anyway, you can build really cool stuff in ZBrush with talent and time. Like for example,
your alien is starting to turn into the Thing from the Fantastic Four.
It kind of is, and that's what I don't like about it. And I don't want to do
cool, dude.
I don't really want.
I love the eyebrow shaping you've done. Like you've got different sizes of detail around the eyes, which is how things happen in nature. Like scales on like scaled creatures change size to they get towards the eye. You're just like naturally doing things that are correct because of your artist, inside of you. Even though you may not be very familiar with the tool, you know how things should look.
Aw, thanks, Michael.
Inside of you.
Okay, so I don't know how to try to bring this guy home. Really, I do need more detail. I mean, I think like in real practice, like I would actually just use a lot more. Like at this point, this base geometry is probably absolutely fine, and what I really need is more texturing and stuff, which is maybe a whole other topic for us.
Yeah. Seth, have you stopped doing symmetry to show like how to do like an injury or something?
Me? What?
Yeah, because your one shoulder is flat, but then your other is not.
That's not true. Oh, it kind of
your shoulder. Yeah, your shoulders look different.
That's weird.
Symmetry off you must have had symmetry off for a second.
I must have. Hey, Ian, while you're here, how do I put my own texture into into this texture brush? Go ahead and answer in detail in the chat, step by step.
Also, as we've mentioned before, both Maxon and Pixelogic's sites are full of the people who know these answers actively doing that work very well.
With full getting started series is on there for you as well. If you want to, if this has intrigued you at all, and you're like, hey, I want to be able to do that, but know what I'm doing. There's plenty of resources for you.
If this isn't enough,
if you're not 100% ready to go after this primer, fine.
Justine says that your model, Seth, looks like a friendly sleep paralysis demon.
Is that a reference to something I don't get?
I guess you don't have sleep paralysis.
I think sleep paralysis demon is the new like gremlin, like term for like something out of my nightmares and here in the real world.
My guy's got like weird body art now.
Okay. All right. I feel like I want to do something with this dude now. So I'm going to export him. I'm going to assume is oops, I pressed save. It's probably worth saving, huh?
Ian, more importantly in the chat, how do you turn off the axis lines? Because that blue one is causing chatter.
Yeah. All right, hang on. So he says, put his thing on screen, and I'm going to read it. You want to paint with texture detail. Let's get you painting first. Go up to color, fill object. We'll give you a base color. Then grab a paintbrush and start painting with another color. It doesn't sound like what I asked for, Ian, but I'll try it. Ian, what I want to do is I've got this pattern brush. I want to put my own texture into that. Can I do that? I tried to do it with the alpha. It didn't work.
Trying to make him out of paper?
I'm trying to make him out of whatever. I'm trying to make him out of maybe a texture that says Seth Rules that I made. Let's see. I will go up the color, though. I'll do what he said. He is my boss. Color, fill object. Give you a base color. Make sure RGB is on. RGB. How do I know if RGB is on? Oh, he's in the car trying to listen while he's a passenger. Sorry, bud. You don't have to show me anything right now. Let's see. What if... Ooh, noise. That's fun. Yeah, so all of these. Where are they getting their texture from? Fine. I'll Google it. ZBrush. Texture brush. ZBrush texture library.
Skip.
He says the brush textures are driven from alphas.
Well, that's what I thought, but I tried to change it and it didn't do anything. It's like if I clone the noise brush, current alpha.
He says go to alpha on the left side.
Yeah.
Whoops. I closed.
These tips are going to come in slow, thick and slow. Under the stroke type.
I like Justin's comment. All right. Under the stroke type, wait, alpha. Wait. Under the stroke type.
Go to alpha on the left side, under the stroke type.
Alpha on the left side.
Under the stroke type.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for his next.
Okay.
Waiting for his next thing to say.
Under the stroke type. I've added
In his defense, it is not easy to YouTube chat on mobile.
Oh yeah.
Jason says he thinks the ping needs to have alpha.
Okay.
Which, yes.
That would
which
make
makes
sense. Let me do that. That's probably it. But how is that old texture still sticking in there? That doesn't make sense to me.
Anyway, so he says, go to the alpha on the left side, under the stroke type, pick one.
Okay, let's start with just your base. Where's
so many shapes on the screen.
Where's the simple, what was it called?
Pole or something?
Was that what it was called?
I have no idea. I wasn't watching.
Standard.
I mean, I was watching, but I watching, but I can't see anything. My feed of view is very blurry.
We'll do these little starburst. Okay. So now let me just export this with an alpha. This is
See all the things that we can learn together. This is fun.
This is
There was a very handy
this, and I'm gonna share this.
There's a very handy tip in the chat from Anthony, who says to under the standard brush, you can under the stroke you can choose drag rect, and under alpha you can choose a custom alpha, which means instead of painting by dragging, you put out a rectangle and then it'll punch the alpha out of your thing or into your thing. At least I assume.
Oh, boom! Yeah, if I hold Alt, it'll punch it in like that.
No. I mean, no. He means like you can just draw a rectangle and it'll just do one instance of your thing instead of painting it.
Oh, if I do
like
what?
All over.
What was that?
Under standard brush, under stroke, choose drag rect, which I assume is short for drag rectangle. Oh, hey.
Let me turn off.
Well, that's a different way to do things.
Turn off symmetry.
I'm crashing mine over here by trying to do the Go Z.
There we go. Let's chisel it in. Oh, it's going to be inverted. I see. So he's got a tattoo. It says Seth rules. Ooh, I wonder if can I add more subdivisions? I can't go higher res than this. All right, so that's how you do a brush. So if I want to do, let's say I want to scribble. And then turn off the alpha, send the PNG to my computer. And then
Ian is also doing a helpful reminder that you have to make sure you have high enough resolution to see the alpha, since ZBrush is, everything is based on the vertices that you have there. You have to have a pretty high res model for some of these brushes to pop up, but of course you do have pretty good detail. Ian, is there a way to show the polygons or the lines of the polygons in ZBrush? I mean, I'm sure there must be.
There definitely
Thank you,
is.
Ian,
But,
for guesting on our show
But none of us know what it is.
from the car.
I just want to show you all that if, just so you know, like check out if I import the actual model straight to Cinema, there are a lot of points.
Oh, yeah. Indeed. Did you use the GoZ workflow, or did you just export a model?
GoZ wasn't working for me at the moment, and I don't know if it's because I have too many Cinema 4Ds installed or something bizarre. I cannot figure it out.
Shift F, Seth, will show you the polygon lines.
But I am just going to go ahead and reduce this thing by using
Shift F as in
Remesh
Frank.
tool.
Oh,
Remesh.
it flashes.
Mesh
You
density.
just hold it,
Polygon
just-
alert. Polygon alert.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Ian, if you need a ZBrush drop for one of your streams, whoa!
What did I do?
You just drag out a whole copy of your model. Holy crap.
This looks like deleted characters from the Crudes, I think, right now.
What happened? Oh, wow. Wow. I forgot it said Seth rules on the back. Okay. Now they're close. They're friends, clearly. Maybe more than friends.
This is how they hug. They intersperse with one another.
Yes.
Ian has still patently refused to tell us how to turn that axis off.
File, save. Okay. This is currently called mail.zpr, which is very funny to me. Let's do this in VFX and Chill. Elements, 3D stuff. Cool guy.
You hit Shift S for stamp. Press Control N. I'm not sure what question is being answered, but there you go. Whoever was asking whatever question that was.
How did I clone this guy by accident? That doesn't seems like a...
It feels like it had to be a control and drag type of situation.
I don't think I duplicated it because it's just him in the preview down here. So maybe I want to...
Press Control N and see what happens. He said you hit Shift S for stamp. So you must have turned your model into a stamp or something.
Oh.
He says press Control N to get rid of the doppelganger.
Thank
Or Shift N. Or Control N, Shift N, one of those things.
Thank you, Ian.
Control N clears, apparently.
Let's go back to symmetry. Activate symmetry. Drawing on guy.
If this was a ZBrush stream, we would have Activate Symmetry as a drop for sure.
Oh, it'll be in the future because we're going to be using this way more.
You know what? This actually probably is a very useful stream for ZBrush trainers to see what people who've never touched ZBrush think of it and what sort of the first steps they might want to take.
It's my favorite way to be an example is
the wrong example.
The wrong. All right, so I exported my thing over to Cinema 4D because I want to start trying to do some other stuff.
The wrong sounds like a different name for the rock. This character should now be called
the wrong stuff.
This is the wrong. Do you smell?
Ian, have a good flight. Ian's heading to the airport. Thank you so much for hopping in the stream. And yes, Seth and Hashi definitely want you on the stream for realsies at some point to actually show it off right.
Absolutely. All right, Hashi, I interrupted you talking about.
No, it's all right. I learned that here in ZBrush you can export the tool that you're using, which see, I'm going to get this nomenclature wrong for a while because this whole document is called the tool. That's what I'm creating. I'm creating this object that exists over here. So I'm a little confused as to what the difference is between modifying a polysphere into this tool that I now have here or whatever. But here under Dynamesh, which I enabled, I was able to adjust the resolution up or down. I turned it all the way down to 128. And then once that was there, I could right-click on this tool here and say export. Or actually, I could click right here and say export. And that exported the same thing that I had just exported, but with a lot fewer polys. And now that I'm here in Cinema, I'm actually going to throw this thing into the Z-Remesher, which is a tool that basically came right out of ZBrush. So I'm just doing this one step removed, which is kind of fun. So if I press NB to reveal the a new topology that's being put onto this character.
Holy cow.
Look at this.
So much better.
Wow.
And
look, it's got float. Now here, I will say, if you wanted to make this a character that you're actually going to be animating, you would need to use some guide splines to tell the polygons to flow around the mouth, make a circle around the mouth that way. Yes, in the remesher, in both ZBrush and Cinema 4D, you can actually guide the remesher to say the flow should go this way. So you can paint a spline in Cinema 4D and say, hey, the flow and put that into the remesher as a guide spline.
Now, what if I want the spline to look like a dude? Do I use a guy spline in that case?
Yes.
Good.
all right, I am trying to figure out how complex I want this mesh to be.
I just did a whole bunch of stuff that I feel like could have just been a normal map and not an actual geo.
Well, the really cool thing is you can bake out a normal map from ZBrush and apply it to a low poly reduced version of the model. But I don't think so. I think
it's cool.
Yeah, it's very handy because that way you can get that really, really high detail sculpt, but onto a low poly model for a video game, for example. It's a huge workflow for video games, but also for working in cinema. But I will say, I don't think that this would work for that because that's pretty large details and they're poking out, so they actually affect the silhouette of your character. I think you need actual geo there. But you could still put that on a low poly model and just have it as a displacement map, and you could use, like for example, Redshift's render time tessellation to add that detail at render time based on your displacement map. But again, it depends on your workflow.
I did it, guys. I made a character.
I love him. Okay, I'm just going to go for broke, which is I'm going to grab this mesh here, and I don't remember how this works exactly, but I'm going to go over into Adobe Substance Painter, something that I've also not used. But I've heard that it's real cool and stuff. Oh, it's actually not true. I did actually try to figure out how to paint a cat for Seth once. And
now there's Substance Painter and Substance Designer. Substance Painter is more like for full-on painting, and Designer is for like creating procedural setups. So there's multiple ways you can go for this.
Multiple ways you can skin a cat, you say?
I did. It's been such a phrase for as long as I can remember. In the early days of learning After Effects on VHS tapes and there being no YouTube, the internet, there'd be these online forums, people would discuss how to do something in After Effects, and there'd be a couple different ways mentioned in the thread, and someone would say, well, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I was always like,
gross.
Why
but are there?
It's like there shouldn't be.
There should only be no ways. Why would you skin a cat?
I mean, maybe the skin is inhibiting the cat. I don't know.
Oh, whoops. I forgot that I had my OBJ exporter set to do a multi-frame sequence. So if you want 90 copies of this monster.obj, you're welcome to it. I'm just going to bring this in here, and I'm just going to say yes. I don't know. Okay, where are you now? Is it thinking? Maybe it's thinking. I did a drag and drop of my OBJ file. Substance Painter.
Hashi, did you bring it at full details, or did you lower the number of polygons at some point?
No, it's lower. It's just like a 7 megabyte OBJ.
Okay. Well, I have yet to use Substance Painter. For those of you who haven't tried any of the Substance tools and you're interested, there's a bundle to get all the Maxon tools and all the Adobe Substance collection all in one fell swoop.
Okay, all libraries. So I'm so confused. Okay, add resources. I want to bring in that thing that I just made. This monster. Can I import it? This feels like this should be easier to do.
This feels
Link in the chat for this deal for those who are interested.
This feels like how I should have been making scribbly monsters this whole time. Even though I think our monsters in the movie look really cool.
There's so many ways that we could have done things. That's the fun part of having a suite of softwares, is that there's no perfect way to do any of them. Access denied. What have I done?
Access denied.
Wait, did you close on me, Substance? Come back, Substance.
Wait, did an app really just tell you access denied?
Access denied, literally, in like a notebook file. There we go. Okay, file. Import resources, maybe? That's what I would think, is that I could just add like a... Access denied. I don't have permission to access the Adobe Store, is what I think, but like... And then it closes me? Substance.
Woo.
Don't like that. Okay, well, does that mean that I've got to go in here and do something else in Cinema that I don't know how to do? We can figure that out in a few minutes, right? We can go to this mesh and say UV. UV. Let's create this as a spherical. I wonder what it would do as automatic packed UVs. Didn't create it. Or is it creating it? Let's see. This monster face doesn't want to be. When you're
creating UVs, you need, especially with a setup like this, you need to start telling it where the cuts in your thing need to be, because you're literally unwrapping that whole 3D model. So you have to say, hey, I want this part to unwrap this way. I want this part to unwrap this way. It's a whole workflow process.
It's true. Like, really? Yeah, okay. So here's what it did
the AI
automatically. So I'm just going to make this full understandable, but it's kind of not. So, this is fine as a UV, but I would rather it be better. So what we would really need to do is some stuff like in standard editing mode, you'd go over and you'd grab select. Let's grab the... Wait, do I have to be in point mode? Select loop selection. Okay, let's see. Oh no, these don't line up at all. Another thing I could have done better in ZBrush before getting to this point.
Or using splines.
For my very loud dog drinking just next door. Some of these areas become lines.
It almost got some of the mouth loops are almost right. Like one or two guide splines. Probably get you there. Andrew Smith says there's more than one way to UV unwrap a cat for sure. Indeed.
Oh, you know what? Whenever I did this remesh, let me undo to the point that it had this remesh in here. I could have made it symmetric in X. And I think if I had done that
would help.
That should hopefully give me more proper loops, right? So let's try that. And now, okay, like that's good.
Almost.
Let's see. So let's see.
Good.
One of those lines does good. Yeah, there it is. That one goes down the whole head. Nice.
We can split that. So now we go to
I would like to say for actual UV unwrapping, you would not want to do that because you don't want a split to run down the middle of the face. You just want the split to only be in the back of the head, so that your face would be here, and then the whole rest of the head would kind of be a circle around it, like that character from Doctor Who who's got so many facelifts. She's just a piece of paper thin.
So maybe like this or something like that could be a good loop. Back of the head and the.
It doesn't even need to be a loop. It just needs to be a line that it can cut down.
Okay, so now let's go.
Ooh, Seth, you're done with your coral creature?
He's done.
Moving on to creepy dolls.
Time for him to move on.
Okay, now I can't remember what I do to tell. I know I've done this before somehow. UV unwrap. No, maybe it is doing it. Can't tell if it's thinking or not. There we go. Okay, so now I have two sets of UVs. If I select points, for example.
Yes. So that's
the face, and this is the back of the head.
Yes, and now you see the problem with making a loop selection instead of just a split. Because now, if you're going to want to paint it, it's going to be difficult to make stuff match between the two. Now, if you're painting on the 3D model, then it's fine. But if you're wanting to really fine tune stuff later, it's difficult. Oh, that slime bridge is gross over on Seth's side.
Oh gosh, look at the horrors.
I want a subsurface scattering material on that so bad right now.
So what if I got rid of? So ignore that UV thing that I just did. What if I make this line here? And I select all of this stuff, the seam down the face. Here's my plan. Whoops, that wasn't the line that went down the face. Goodness sake, I swear I have an idea. Okay, I'm going to do a loop selection of this symmetry line for the whole head. Then I'm going to go to my select tool, make it a little bit, what am I doing? Okay, I just want to go to the select tool and I want to control deselect these things. I don't know if this is working at all. Control, deselect. Thank you all for hanging in there if you're hanging in there.
There are people hanging in here.
Mostly, I just kind of want to see if I did that. Could I now say UV unwrap? What's this tag? It looks like a subdivision thingy.
We'll be right back.
There we go.
That's more better.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we've got this weird texture And, that's fine. I'm okay with this. But I do want it to be oriented this direction. Uh-oh. Oh. Select all of that stuff. Orient it this way. And now this face will sort of be centered in here. Excellent.
That's there you go. That's a good. That's
all right, so now we got a new challenge.
Improved,
I don't know if I should, if it's worth trying to do anything right now, y'all.
Big buddy.
Right, Seth, I feel like we wandered nicely into this universe of ZBrush. We've mildly come out on the other side with, whatever you want to call this. Oh, that's a very small. I did not realize my mesh was so universally small. Oh, whoops. Oh, no. I want to resize the object. I was resizing the spline. Okay, let's make them bigger and then add spheres. Let's drop the sphere in a symmetry object.
Hashi, we are not seeing the right side of your screen, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Sorry about that.
No, there we go. Whoops. Sphere, why aren't you doing your thing?
Because you grabbed the symmetry object itself and not the sphere. So you want to put the symmetry object back on 0 on the X.
Oh, whoops. Thank you. Wait, symmetry object, and then let's create sphere. Let's put the sphere inside there, and then we've got the sphere. Oh, does it have to be geometry? No.
No.
It was there. Okay.
It's working.
All right. I was kind of curious about what would happen once this thing had some kind of eyeball. Because I don't know if it would be like a huge, like crazy alien eyeball situation, or if it's like,
what shape
like
of the iris is going to be? Are they slits? Are they circles? Are they squares?
I mean, a square, I can't think of a good enough justification for.
Oh no, it's
evolutionary pattern.
Yeah.
But also, I'm curious as to what this, how the eyes would be supported. I guess I would imagine them being more up here. Don't eat that.
Justin says, Seth Scott Major, why don't you play with the software while Ami goes shopping energy right now?
That is my natural state.
I can't quite figure out where I want this dude's eyes to be. I want them to be. Maybe in this realm. Okay, let's just create for the sake of not having to look at this like this anymore. Where are... Oh, my whole interface is too small to reveal my materials. Okay, let's just create a couple of different materials so we can start imagining. Let's just do some boring. Sorry, I got a very excited dog here.
We can't hear that dog.
That's good.
I hear my dog.
I hear feral cats in my backyard.
Hey.
Hey. It's them feral cats.
So would big eyes look better? I don't know, audience. What do you think? Big eyes.
Chat, what do you think? Big comical eyes, big regular eyes, tiny little baby eyes? What do you think? And oh, hello to our old regular dog who is enjoying the new younger dog. His giant. Dog. Yes. She is a tiny lap-sized dog versus this giant human-sized one.
And basically, you could try to lay out these eyes and so they look like sunglasses or something. But it's weird for them to be that deep.
Oh, the chat is pretty exclusively calling for big eyes.
Oh yeah. That definitely is the thing, but it's also, or thing, or whatever it's called. What's guy called from Fantastic Foe?
I think it's just the thing, right?
Yeah.
The shield, the thing.
Yeah.
Seth, your creature is turning into something that I could genuinely see happening in a film.
Hey, it's me. We can
Without the comical voice.
let's see. We can do. Hey.
Horrifying.
You know, it looks like ZBrush has some of that playfulness to it too, like that I love. Like you can just fuss around and then have happy little accidents.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat in the first half of the stream said, ZBrush artists don't make mistakes, they just add character. I thought that was a good quote, but I can't pull it up now because it was in the old chat.
It was.
That is pretty good, actually.
It is pretty good. I like it. Way to go, guy. Girl. Let's go back to standard.
Justin is claiming credit for it. And Wed Black says Seth's model is getting creepier by the stroke. I can't stop watching what he's doing. I know.
That's the fun thing about this weird sculpting process. It's got this really exciting before and after quality. You end up in really neat places.
Hashi, I always end up in really neat places when I'm with you.
Oh, thanks, Seth.
Aww.
So sweet.
What?
Okay, now one thing I don't really know how to do very well is live streams, but we're gonna figure out this UV edit situation. Wow, Seth, I'm excited to see where the slime bridginess ends up over there.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't have a destination. I probably need to like subdivide out these this mouth area. Is there a way? Is there like a polygon brush thing or something? Something to like.
There's something called Dynamesh. There's something called Dynamesh, I believe, that you can activate.
Dynamesh. What do you
It's under geometry, like on the right there. It's under geometry, and there'll be I think this is Dynamesh somewhere.
Yeah,
Tool.
I think it dynamically meshes your existing geometry to add more. Hit that keyboard shortcut to see what your polys are look like first, then run it and see after.
And what was that? That was Shift S.
H.
Oh.
I think.
F.
It's doing something. It's doing something in Skype. Whenever you do it.
Really? What was it doing?
It's making the whole window blue. There you go.
So Dynamesh. What do I do?
Oops.
Let me just
I don't
save
know.
this real quick.
Oh, hey, there's a little pop-up. What's that say?
Sub projection slider. All right, I'll figure this out. First, I gotta save it. Save in the elements. It's funny how this goes right over you guys' stuff. Elements, 3D stuff.
Just a second.
Bird face. 01. Okay. Geometry, Dynamesh. Let's close out. Can I close? Can't I? What the? Okay. The slider is opposite what it is normally in Mac. Okay. Dynamesh. I can turn up resolution. I can click Dynamesh, and it does, whoa. Okay. And then it was Control in. What was the thing you said to make it go away? Michael?
Pardon? What?
Was it Control in? Was that made everything go away? Command in? Alt in?
Maybe.
No. Oh, crap.
I will say there is a mode on a lot of the brushes called Sculptress Pro, Seth, that you might be interested in activating over on, I think, on the right side somewhere. The Sculptress Pro mode is a global editing mode for ZBrush that provides unique behavior for multiple sculpting and painting brushes. I'm looking it up because I thought it would help you. So what it does is as you sculpt, it automatically adds geometry where you're sculpting so that the detail of what you're sculpting is maintained regardless of the underlying and original geometry. Yeah, so it just on the fly
That sounds like the opposite of a pro tool. That sounds like a tool for idiots.
I agree.
Like me.
That it sounds like... No, but yeah, but what it does is basically it just adds detail as you're painting where you need it. I don't know where it is. I just know it's somewhere over there.
This
somewhere.
is where we need the commander tool or whatever. Is there a search in here?
I know there's like Z tools and
in the Z
something.
Okay, hang on. It says in the default ZBrush user interface, this is the Sculptress Plus logo above the canvas.
Above the canvas. It's like it would be huge.
Like it's a big option right up there. No pictures of what it's supposed to look like though.
It's called Sculptors Pro.
Sculptress.
Sculptress.
SCULPTRIS. Sculptress Pro or Sculptress Plus. One of those two things. It says this is a Sculptress Plus logo above the canvas, but
what is the logo?
It doesn't show us what that logo looks like.
Live Boolean.
Let me try looking at.
Oh, activate Sculptress Pro mode.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to show me how to do that one. I should have done this a long
time ago though, because it's not going to automatically update it.
No, just every brush you use from here on out will give you the detail you need as you go.
Boom.
Hey, there it is.
Did it do it? Didn't do anything.
In the chat, some more useful tips in the chat. Anthony Scarcelli says you can turn on Sculptress for your smooth brush and turn intensity down to 0 just to add more geo to a particular area, which seems like a very helpful tip. And yeah. And Brian Smith says, isn't there an undo slider along the top of the window for winding things back in time? I believe so.
There it is. Is it?
That's cool.
It's hidden. Oh, yeah. Crazy.
So it saves a history of everything you've done. And that way you can just, I don't know, play it back and watch your thing happen in real life, maybe? Oh, look at that. Hey, we've got 1 minute left in showtime.
Oh, wow. Hashi, your thing looks awesome.
Thank you. I'm trying to figure out how I would go about adding a texture to this if I knew what I was doing, which I don't really. But I have these light guides as to where some of the information is supposed to be. So I'm going to start faking it in Photoshop.
Woo.
All right, normal. All right, Seth, you can totally call it whenever.
Everybody.
I'm not going to reach any exciting moment here, really, but it's a lot of fun.
Listen, everybody, this was a fun show. We loved having you here, and we hope that you enjoyed watching us mess around in ZBrush. This is very exciting. I have a very strong feeling you're going to see some extremely cool stuff coming from definitely Hashi and hopefully me as well on the show over the next Yeah, this is a turning point, I think, for the stupid crap that we make. Just get ready.
We shall make cool-ish things and
Next
things
week, we're
and
going to
stuff.
cover that Loki. We're going to cover that Loki question at the beginning, or what are we doing next week?
Oh, I think we should definitely cover the Loki effect next week.
least
For
looked
those of
very
you who are
chapter
curious,
particular.
there's up at the top of the show, there was a question about this latest, I guess, spoilers for Loki.
Can you go to Hashi's screen real quick?
I can.
Oops. There is I believe, this effect in here somewhere.
Never mind.
Where was it? Whatever. I thought I had it.
There, that one.
It's somewhere around here. There was, I think, a cool, deathy-looking effect that we think that would be very fun to try to recreate with particular. I don't know where my RAM preview is. It's just sitting there.
We'll
Thinking
find
about
it
it.
next week if we talk about it next week.
We will.
But
Let's
who knows?
Hold on, this.
Who knows? Next week's episode could be something completely different.
It's true. We might come up with something. Oh gosh, look at that. That's horrible. See, Seth, that's what you're creating right now.
It is.
Anyway, more beautiful and terrifying stuff next week on the VFX and Chill. It was a lot of fun.
It was. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.